your YouTube channel's being left behind. And I know you're following all of the advice and you're putting in the hours and you're editing until you can't even keep your eyes open anymore, all for your content to fall flat. I'll say this though, the reason is really, really simple, and you're following last year's playbook. You're not playing by the rules of 2025. So let's talk about how you actually evolve and start participating in the trends that you should already be doing by now. For years, we chased the algorithm like it was this beast that needed to be tamed, and the algorithm is dead. Nobody tell the algorithm that. Let's just keep that between us here. But it really did lead us to chasing trends that confuse not only our audience, but actually the algorithm itself. Today, YouTube is all about the hyper-personalization of your feed. And this is why everybody's is so different. It's not the one algorithm anymore. It's kind of an algorithm for every person. You have to remember, YouTube is just trying to put the right video in front of the right person at the right time. That is the ultimate matchmaker. So this also means that you want to stop obsessing over being so broadly viral. That is not what's important right now. What's important right now is obsessing over what does my specific audience actually want. Think about your niche as being the algorithm. That's why you want to think about going viral within your space. Not viral for the algorithm, viral for your niche. Okay, so the trend here is thinking about each video kind of having their own algorithm. If you have a really great idea that's made for a really specific person, YouTube will do its job and it will surface that video to the right people. If it's not working out that way, you might not have made it as clear as you may think you did. So stop thinking about the algorithm as this end-all be-all and start thinking about each video being the opportunity for its own little mini algorithm. Now, we've talked about this one quite a bit. We've talked about it on our podcast. We talk about it on the live streams. This is about long form content getting longer, about YouTube really just becoming TV and just replacing other streaming platforms. So what does this trend mean? This trend means that creators and the platform in general are pushing storytelling to the next level. This means we're talking about deep dives and documentary style videos, and we're even talking about full-length episodes and series becoming a little bit more popular. But it's really about the storytelling that is rivaling TV shows now. And we're seeing that what used to be a 5 to 8 minute video on the platform is now a 17 to 30 plus minute video. So what does that mean for you? Does it mean that you should push your content just longer so that you have a timestamp? No. It might mean that there's opportunity for some ideas that you have to push the storytelling further and to make that longer content. This is a good thing to test out. And it could be just that. It could be an experiment on your channel. Our attention spans, yes, they're getting shorter, but this whole counterintuitive trend is about content getting longer. It's about craving a connection that we're not seeing in that really short, fast-paced content. And long-form content is thriving. We're seeing videos that are 30 plus minutes, that are an hour long. We're seeing deep dives. We're seeing storytelling being pushed to the absolute next level. And we're seeing that rival TV series. Like, we're competing with Netflix. Netflix, we're coming for you. Actually, I think we won. And what's really crazy is that it's proving to actually really be successful. I know I'm watching content that's 45 plus minutes on my TV because I consume YouTube on TV. And that is also another really big trend. So what does that mean for you as a creator? It means what you should do is maybe prioritize testing out some skills or pushing some skills to experiment with what longer content might be like on your channel. Does this mean one high effort video that is just naturally longer because you've worked harder and you've incorporated more things into one video? Does this mean maybe it's less editing? Maybe you're retention editing quite a bit, which is a little bit of an older trend, and maybe it's time to loosen up the cuts on Premiere. Just let them breathe and see what happens. So my advice would be to test this out, experiment with it, see how it makes sense for you. And then of course we have our analytics to see if it's working. I mean, we have our retention graphs, right? If people aren't watching, we can see for ourselves they're clicking off. Don't be afraid to go deep. I know this can be a scary thing to try. I know. It feels weird. Like, who wants to watch me for an hour? This also is a way of thinking of content where maybe you had 2 or 3 video ideas that were planned and you were planning them purposely to get more content out of them. Maybe it's time to switch that mentality so that you get one longer video and a little bit less quantity. We're going for quality. The moral here is quality over quantity. That's a little sub-lesson right there. So maybe those 3 videos are now gonna be one video that pushes that 45-minute mark. Anyways, I'm not saying next video you do, upload it, make an hour-long video, but see where you have the opportunity to kind of jump on this trend, and it might surprise you. So if you're pushing longer content because you've been hearing us talk about it for quite a while, let me know in the comments how it's been going for you. This also kind of brings us, so we're talking about longer content, we're talking about maybe a little bit less editing, a little bit less retention editing, and just having, you know, jump cut, jump cut, jump cut. And we're just having you feel a little bit more relaxed. The next trend we're gonna talk about is really just that. We're going for raw over polished, and you've probably seen this trend for a little bit now. We're seeing styles of thumbnails that are more screenshot looking, less text, less arrows, less YouTube face. Has the YouTube face finally died? Maybe the YouTube face will never actually fully die. We're seeing that just being dialed back down. And of course, this has been evident in some spaces, especially if we're talking about, you know, a bushcraft channel or an off-grid channel. We're gonna see a much less edited style thumbnail in a space like that, but we're really starting to see, even in the lifestyle world, more of that screenshot style thumbnail. We're so used to seeing such hyper edited photos as thumbnails that now when we see something less edited, it almost stands out more to us. If we see something that is just really natural looking, we almost have more of a curiosity because it feels different. It feels like that now is the oversaturated, shocking thumbnail that our brains were not used to seeing. The times have turned. The times have turned. We're seeing this a little bit more in content too. As we talk about this longer content, the polished content is being taken down. You can't have an hour, I shouldn't say you can't. You probably don't have an hour-long video that is edited like Mr. Beast because your brain would probably explode. So this might officially be the end of an era when it comes to more is more. And now we're looking at a little bit more like less is more. And the new strategy isn't to shock the viewer into clicking, it's really just to signal authenticity. And I think that's even more shocking for why you should click. So how do you maybe test this out? Well, for your next thumbnail, maybe you pick that screenshot. Pick a moment directly from your footage or plan to take a thumbnail in the environment that you're filming in. It's still okay to plan and take thumbnails. Obviously, we encourage a planned thumbnail, but there's a way to plan it so that it still has a more natural feel. We're also talking about natural expression, and I will tell you one trick that I absolutely love when it comes to taking a thumbnail is to take a video actually mimicking the emotion that I'm trying to represent through the thumbnail. So instead of the photos of the big shocked face, I try to say things that are a natural representation of the emotion I want to come across. So if I'm feeling, you know, really excited, I might take the video that I'm just going, oh my gosh, what? That's gonna allow me to pull screenshots that would have my face naturally how it would be if I was excited like that. This is the one I don't wanna talk about because I don't want it to be trending. I don't want it to already be trending. And this is kind of, if you know, you know. I'm a little bit of a shorts hater.
I don't know why you're making shorts, period.
Oh my God, Jen, stop getting yourself canceled. What's wrong with you?
I know. I've gained myself quite the reputation of that. And there's really nothing against shorts, but high effort shorts are what we're here to talk about next. Often with more of a professional edit and a high production value behind them. And I will say that's kind of something I do like to see in shorts. It's just a short. I have been pushing myself here on the channel to play with more shorts, and this is something that I'm personally trying to tackle when it comes to this list of trends. We're taking the production value of a long and now we're squeezing that down into a short, and then instead of the casual shorts, we're now adding that to long. So have they switched? What does this mean for you as a shorts creator? Well, I would say push yourself to try one high effort short per month. I also encourage creators to do one high effort video per month, so let's just change that over to a short. Keep going with the longs, but now change that one high effort video to be your short and see what you learn and see what's fun to experiment with. Maybe a high effort short I will like better as someone who doesn't like shorts. I need to stop saying that. I can personally say I've seen this next one in a lot of creators that I watch for fun, and that is more intentional uploads. This is where we're really breaking down quality over quantity as the actual trend. Posting schedules are in the past. They are behind us because we've all realized by now, or you're learning this right now, is that your upload schedule really has nothing to do with how well your content performs. So we're going back to the other trends we mentioned when it comes to what's being successful or what's proving successful in content right now, and the upload schedule is not one of them. This comes back to the focus on excellent storytelling, which also led into that longer content, which has content feeling more authentic and you're able to connect with it more, which means you want to watch more of it. And you're becoming a part of someone's community faster than you have in the past. At least I can say that that's true. And it's also something really fun to look forward to. I would rather see my favorite creators upload once a month for a video that I absolutely loved than to be watching kind of subpar content once a week. Now, this number looks totally different for everybody, but more intention behind why you're making a video, I can see the audience connecting with that when they're watching much better. It's also kind of creating a higher anticipation, and this is a fun thing to incorporate with channel members and to really build the community around having your videos premiere. There's a lot of fun things you can do with that, and less content can be more powerful. So it's something to keep in mind. So what does this mean? It means upload less, maybe, but more intentionally for sure. This also kind of comes back to our first point where I was like, maybe those 3 videos are now 1 video instead. The intention. And then to tie this together, I really did a good job at kind of like linking these in the order that I did. Community is the new king. Relying on subscribers and views is like looking at the outdated YouTube map. Your job is no longer to just get the click, it's to start the conversation. And all of the things that we've talked about so far are steps to actually start that conversation and continue to build your community. So start to build this DNA into your videos. So we're talking about less shallow call to actions like leave a comment below if you liked this video. And we're really talking about diving into deeper connections with, let me know the #1 thing you've been struggling with this week as a creator. But I wouldn't follow those up with, thanks for watching, as a reply to those comments. This is your opportunity to actually connect with your community and really reply to those comments. If you're asking a question and it's sincere, then follow up with a sincere answer or reply. And yes, you could be someone that doesn't have the opportunity to answer all of those comments, which is totally fair, but definitely spend the time on diving into as many as you can in a more thoughtful and connected way. If comments maybe aren't your thing, then think about how to utilize your community tab better. Make your new subscribers feel seen in a way they've never felt before. That is going to be the most powerful hack for growing on YouTube. There's something going on this year when it comes to nostalgia and throwback content. We're craving the early stages of YouTube again, and we're craving the early just stages of content in general. Like this looks like visiting old YouTube trends, challenges, things that we were seeing for the first time and we haven't really seen in a while. And this might be because YouTube has grown so much since its original days. People are craving the old content ideas, but having them feel a little bit more relevant, a little bit more now, a little bit more redone. So is there an opportunity for you to dive into some nostalgic YouTube things? And of course, these ideas are going to come down to who your audience is, what kind of channel you have, and what's going to make sense for your niche. More realness and less perfection. This is a hard one. Less perfection can be a really difficult thing, especially as a perfectionist. That's the part that makes it difficult. Content was feeling so polished and there was no outtakes and no bloopers. It was just my perfect YouTube edit. And those days are behind us. It's okay to leave things in that make you just actually seem like a real human and not a perfectly edited YouTuber. We're talking about genuine moments versus calculated personas. Leave those bloopers in. Have the time that you stuttered all over a word leave it in the footage. That's also something that really connects people to you. When you come off as just a normal person, we want to make that connection, and being your authentic self is what's going to allow you to make that deepest connection with the other person, with the person on the other side watching. So how do you implement this into your channel? Well, just that. Add the bloopers, leave in the cuts that you messed up on. I mean, there's no rules for this. As long as it feels authentic to you, run with it. See what happens. I bet those are the moments that people are going to be laughing about in the comments. Now, let me know in the comments which one you've been working on this year. And if you haven't yet, that's okay. Let me know which one you're going to try to tackle after hearing these 2025 trends you should kind of already be doing. And maybe you're someone that's like, trends, blah, blah, blah. I want to quit YouTube. Well, I just so happened to make a video about wanting to quit YouTube. So maybe that's when you want to give a click. But leave the comment though. I really want to know which trend you're trying.